All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we're breaking down Raiders' first round pick, top 10 selection, Tyree Wilson, edge rusher out of Texas Tech. This is some guy finally getting some good action, some live action. Of course, he was fighting some injuries back at his time at Texas Tech. We got some film, some cut-ups from Wilson's performance against the Dallas Cowboys. It kind of shows some good and some ugly, but overall, I think there's a lot of great potential for this guy. Before we break down the film, just want to ask everyone, if you like what we do, if you like the content, please give us a like, give us a comment below. If you got some feedback for us, or if there's a guy you want us to break down even further, please give us a comment telling us who or what you want to talk about. We really appreciate it. But now let's get right into the film. All right, so this first play here was very popular on social media for a long time. You see Wilson right there. You got a 1st and 15, and the Cowboys are driving in the Raiders' red zone right now. You have Wilson out here, what I call kind of a really wide 9 technique. So you would have, let's say if he was right here on the right outside shoulder of the right tackle, that would be what's called the 5 technique. If there was a tight end right next to the right tackle, if he was outside of that, it would be a 7. He's even wider than that, so you call that a 9 technique. This is a clear pass rush opportunity. And one of the things looking at Wilson during this film is obviously this is a guy who's just trying to get his legs underneath him, is trying to understand the speed and rhythm of the game. He hasn't played a whole lot, obviously, with the injury. I wanted to see 2 things. I wanted to see flashes of his playmaking ability, and I wanted to see his physical dominance in terms of he's bigger, stronger, faster, more explosive, longer. That's one of the reasons he went in the top 10. And let's see how he did in his first play right here. Again, 1-on-1 pass rush coming from the right side of your screen against number 75 from the Dallas Cowboys. Right here. Buries him on the back. That is absolutely ridiculous. That makes you really excited if you're a Raiders fan. That kind of domination right there is incredible. When I talk about seeing flashes, that's what you want to see right there. Put him right on his back, embarrass a professional offensive lineman. This isn't some like undrafted rookie who hasn't played before. I think this is Josh Ball. He has some experience with the Dallas Cowboys. He's played some football. Obviously, he's not a superstar. He's not a starter, but he's not a total scrub either. And he gets absolutely embarrassed. My only complaint here is make the play. Make the play. So Will Greer, the 3rd-string quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, is able to turn it into a productive play. That would be the next step, right? And the reason I think he doesn't make the play here is because this guy hasn't played a lot of football, right? His timing's a little off. He stays on a beat too longer, struggles to kind of track down the quarterback there. But in terms of just flashes of physical dominance, you can't do any better than that. 300-pound guy, flat on his back, driving him back 15 yards. Fantastic stuff here from Wilson.
Yeah, Nick, first of all, 75, not going to want to go up against Wilson ever again. I think this is just like a manhandling. They talk about in his draft profile that he has that uncoachable mentality to attack the man in front of him with this reckless abandon. He just blows this guy up. Great heads up play by 66 to catch him. But like you said, I think if he has a couple more reps, once he gets more polished, this is a guy that can make that play in the future. And I think that's exactly what you're talking about. This was one of those flashes, wouldn't you say? Just to show that, yes, he gets there, he could almost finish the play, but maybe with a little bit more time, he would be able to get that play.
Oh, 100%, no doubt. And this is just the part right here. Because you got the offensive lineman's actually, this is a pretty decent, kick set. He keeps his shoulders parallel. He seems to be in a good position. He has his hands extended, but this is a guy who's just bigger, stronger, faster, more explosive. This is incredible stuff. This should get you excited if you're a Raiders fan. But again, you got to make the play. All right, now Wilson is playing the other side here. You got him matched up one-on-one. And the Raiders have a real interesting structure to their defense in these kind of situations. He's not an outside 5 technique or even a wider 7 technique. He's almost a head up. I'd almost call that a 4-eye technique. 4 technique, head up, maybe inside eye. But this is a tough responsibility, a tough assignment here for a guy who did not play a whole heck of a lot of this in college. But I really like what he did here in terms of playing the run. And let's watch this at first. Again, so you're looking at his zone play to the right, kind of an inside zone that the Dallas Cowboys are running. Watch Wilson play this, squeeze it, and make the tackle. There's so many good things here because this tackle right here, this left tackle, is trying to reach and cut off Wilson in this situation. The two things that the tackle, if he doesn't reach and cut him off, there's two things that the tackle can do to still consider a success. One, he can just keep pushing him into the pile and kind of blow him past the play, and the 43, the running back, could cut behind him. Or two, he kind of keeps trying to reach him and just works him up and gets movement, gets 2 or 3 yards. But watch what Wilson does here. He works perfectly. First of all, he gets his hand engaged. He stays at the same depth and works parallel to the line of scrimmage. I want to back that up. See, this is great stuff. This is a great run defense here from the rookie. Engage, work parallel to the line of scrimmage, come off, make the tackle. That is outstanding run defense from Wilson right there. No movement from the offensive line because he gets his hands on him, does a great job keeping separation. Reads where the running back finally decides to cut it up and makes the play. Well done. That's a good job right there for the young defensive end.
Yeah, Nick, and I think we saw on the last few plays with Wilson, he maybe had like an over pursuit problem, but this just shows the perfect amount of pursuit. Like you said, stays parallel with the line, following the play, is able to make the play. This is the things that you love to see. Maybe when we come back from the first two plays, we see he is over pursuing, he gets blown up, gets thrown off, isn't able to come back and make the play. This one, he does just the right amount. And I think this is what you want to see out of a young guy, is the duality of, okay, maybe I was a little bit too excited the first two times. Now I got to calm it down, keep my lane, keep the integrity of the defense together. I feel like I think you'd agree, this is a great job by him, just showing that he has a lot of versatility and he's able to, just calm down and do what he needs to do.
I want to show you something here real quick, and this is to your point. Watch what 43 does here right before he ducks up inside. So he gets the handoff, right? And he's thinking, maybe I can cut back. Watch what Wilson does here. Watch the leverage Wilson maintains. So right here, he thinks he can cut back, but Wilson right there, he's got his eyes on him 100%. There is no cut back, and then squeezes it down. Again, I'm going to show the whole play, and you kind of see it pretty clearly. Watch how Wilson maintains the leverage with the running back and then comes off at the end. Really nice stuff. This is a guy who basically played two gaps. He made sure the running back couldn't cut back away from him to his left, to the defensive end's right, and maintains the good gap integrity inside, comes off, makes a play. That's really good. All right, let's show some ugly from Wilson. Again, we're talking about a rookie here. He's going to make some rookie mistakes, but this is a tough deal. So again, you see him right here. He's head up on the tight end. I would call this a 6 technique or a 6-eye. Remember on the previous play, he was over here, head up on the tackle, and what I would call a 4-eye. So on the tight end, we'd call that a 6 or a 6-eye. And right here, we got a running play that's run right at him that bounces outside. And this is not what you want from Wilson. This is a little bit, as much as the previous play was a good job, this is not nearly as good. So again, he's slanting inside. I believe that's probably his assignment. I don't think he is outside contained here. If he does have outside contained, this is a really bad play, a really big mental mistake. But I don't think he would screw that up. I think he's doing the right thing here, working inside to play the run. But again, come off. And don't get put in the ground by a backup tight end. That's the one thing you don't want to see, right? Come off, make a play, right? You want to. This is a tight end. This is a guy you've got beat. This is a guy you've got him beat in terms of size, strength, power. Drive him into the backfield. Maybe disrupt the pole. Maybe get a hand on the running back. Doesn't quite get there. This is stuff that will make the Raiders coaches and Raiders fans nervous. You don't want to see that from a young guy.
Yeah, Nick. And one thing, a knock on Wilson, rather, coming out of college, is they say that he would attack blocks and he didn't really have a plan of action. He just wanted the contact. And this is kind of what I'm seeing here when you say this looks like a guy who's really indecisive. He doesn't know exactly what he's wanting to do. You can see the hesitation here, and he pays for it. Like you said, truly an undersized matchup. He should blow this tight end up. We saw what he did to 75, that tackle, able to drive him across the field. An undersized guy, he should be able to blow this guy up, but he hesitates. He doesn't know exactly what he wants to do, and then they take advantage of it. And like I said, he cannot make the play. He's got to be able to do that. But don't you think there's just a tad bit of indecisiveness here?
Oh, I have no doubt that's what this is. Again, this is a guy, again, I'm not trying to bury him here, who hasn't played a lot of football in terms of the NFL level, coming off an injury. Definitely a lot of it is just trying to get his feeling and things like that. I think he's just one of these. He's still a little bit, it kind of looks like you said, he's a little unsure of himself. He doesn't come in super aggressive. He kind of catches a little bit, doesn't know exactly the right way to play it. I think that'll change over time. but that's pretty ugly. That's something that the Raiders coaches will have to clean up, and especially Wilson will have to clean it up on his end as well if he wants to see significant playing time. All right, we showed the ugly on the previous play. Here is something that is outstanding work by Wilson. And here you have him at what I call a 5 technique on the outside shoulder of the right tackle. And the right tackle in this situation is going to try and reach Wilson here. And at the very least, if he can't reach him in terms of square and body him up and potentially get to his outside shoulder, this right tackle wants to push Wilson out of the hole and kind of expand the hole right here. The Cowboys are going to run this direction, this kind of zone play. Watch what happens. Again, he's trying to reach him. He can't. Good job by Wilson. But right there, look at this position here. There is no movement. Look at this. I love this technique from the young defensive end. Right now, he is parallel to the line of scrimmage. He's got depth. He's got separation with one arm, mind you. This is one arm separation from this offensive lineman. If this running back tries to cut it outside, you see that hand there? That's a holding call. That's an easy call for a ref to make. That's exactly the situation he's put it in. This is how you set the edge. This is textbook stuff, right? It helps force the cut back inside, which creates a negative play, right? And think about it from this perspective. This guy's slanting across this defensive tackles right here. There is a chance that if this defensive end, if this wasn't Wilson, if he got moved out of the way, 34, the running back for the Dallas Cowboys, would maybe be able to follow it and find a little crease in there. But see how the offensive lineman 79 gets frozen there? It compresses the hole. You've got a button the hole problem here for the Cowboys. 34 has to cut it back inside. There's absolutely nothing there. There's no room. It's a big mesh, and that's all because of Wilson. This is phenomenal technique and phenomenal execution. As much as the previous play was a situation where if that happens a lot, he won't see the field. If he does this a lot, he's going to get a lot of reps. This is textbook stuff.
Yeah, and one thing they talk about this guy coming out of college, Nick, and you brought it up here, and I think it's a key on this play, is his insane length at the defensive end position. He's able to just be such a big, long player and use that to his advantage. Just how long, how insane is it, Nick? 79 from the Cowboys. Matt, I think it's Waletzko. He's 6'8", 305 pounds. That is a large, large man. And Wilson is able to keep the separation there, keep himself in the play. And like you said, he affects the play, makes 34 kick back inside, and is really just not a huge, huge gain. But how impressive is the ability to have length on a guy that's just that big, Nick?
You know, he looks like Jadeveon Clowney and Chase Young in terms of his length, his size, his physical stature. I can see when I see plays like this, I can see why he's a top 10 draft pick. Because this is something that honestly you can't teach. Right. This isn't even necessarily an effort play in terms of just someone that maybe was smaller, but really had a lot of smarts and a lot of savvy and spent a lot of time in the gym. This physical ability right here, not being reached, getting not moved at all with one arm, keeping your shoulders and feet parallel to the line of scrimmage, helping force that cutback. That's just God-given physical talent right there. And he certainly has it. I love seeing it on display here. This was the flashes we were talking about at the beginning of the video. This is a perfect example of that. All right, we're going to end on another pass rush here from Wilson. We got a 3rd and long situation. And again, you got him in sort of a wider 9 technique, as you saw on the first play of the video, and he's going to try and attack this offensive lineman. This is a quick throw. The Cowboys with Will Grier this preseason game, it was a lot of quick game from the quarterback, so it's really hard to, potentially get some sacks or pressures if he gets rid of the ball so quick. But one thing I want to focus on, and again, I love the length. I love the power. I mean, you can see how he just goes right through that offensive lineman, drives him right back into the quarterback. That's all really good stuff. But there's one thing I want more of, and we talked about it in an earlier play. He seems indecisive. Right? Look at him a little bit. Which way, what move am I going to do? Like what I want him to do, and I love when defensive linemen do this because I think it's so hard to block. I want him to aggressively beeline at the snap for basically the inside foot of the offensive lineman. Again, target where he's going to be kicking back. So it's going to be probably about where his outside foot is right here at the snap. And once you get there, turn the corner and attack the outside shoulder of the offensive lineman and get to the quarterback. That's what Micah Parsons is great at that. The Bosa brothers, are phenomenal at that. That's what I want to see. But see, he's kind of indecisive. He goes left and right, gives the offensive lineman a chance. Just in terms of gives the offensive lineman another split second. Be decisive. Attack him, make one counter move if needed, and then get to the quarterback. Little indecisive there, but again, you can just see his raw athletic ability and power because he just blows through it all. He has all the physical tools you certainly want from a defensive lineman. A little more coaching, a little more reps, working on his decisiveness. He could be a special player.